We gave you guys a dance for
Chief of Engineers and Commanding General of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and Command Sergeant Major Patrick Hussein, the 14th Command Sergeant Major of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, welcome to the Transatlantic Division Change of Command Ceremony. This morning, we bid farewell to the outgoing commander, Major General Kimberly Colloton, and welcome our incoming commander, Colonel William Hannan. Please join me in welcoming today's distinguished visitors, Mrs. Spellmon, Major General Richard Highcamp and his wife Shannon, Major General Retired John M, Major General Retired Rick Stevens, Command Sergeant Major Retired Brad Houston and his wife Kim, and Mr. Don Adams, and Vice Mayor. From time immemorial, armies throughout the world have conducted ceremonies to commemorate victory over an enemy, to honor their heroes, and to celebrate special occasions, or to pay homage to their fallen comrades. These ceremonies add color and pageantry to military life in the United States. The foundation of our present ceremony was laid by the Continental Army. Today's ceremony reflects procedures practiced since the dawn of our nation. We do hope that you enjoyed today's historic event. Though they could not be here today, the soldiers, civilians, and families of the Transatlantic Division want to extend their deepest thanks to Major General Colloton's husband, Mr. Michael, and their son, Stanley, for their commitment to their wife, mother, and the commanding general of the Transatlantic Division. Captain Thompson will now present yellow roses to the wife of Colonel Hannan, Colonel Sally Hannan, to welcome her and her family, Hannan, to the organization. Yellow represents the color of a new friendship and a warm welcome to our division. Today we also welcome the Hannan children, Caroline, Billy, and Elliot Rose, as well as Colonel Hannan's father, Mr. William Hannan. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to the arrival of the official party. Names stand for the playing of honors, our national anthem, and the invocation given by the chaplain, Major Aaron Frost. Lieutenant General Spellmon has deferred honors to Major General Colloton.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning. I invite you to pray in your faith tradition as I pray in mine. Heavenly God, you reminded us again and again of that noble concept, the door of a door, from generation to generation. Moses gave power to Joshua, as David gave power to Solomon, as Sarah to Rebecca, Rebecca to Rachel and Leah. Remember how important it is to recognize change and leadership from one mantle to another. We are so grateful to today's ceremony. We realize that even with a change in leadership, there are things that are larger than all of us that will always remain constant. One of those constants is our beloved U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. With that, we pray a prayer for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Almighty God, creator of the universe, we praise you for spanning heaven and earth and holding the plumb of the cosmos in your gracious hand. Thank you for the past engineers who have served with dedication, gallantry, patriotism, and skill, sometimes at the cost of their mortal lives. Bless today all men and women of the United States Army Corps of Engineers, wherever they are stationed around the globe. As we perform our varied tasks, guide us in making rough places smooth, crooked ways straight, and our environment safer. May our minds be keen, our calculations accurate, our myriad projects successful, and our faith in you unending. Enable our topographers to be precise, and be stewards to be steadfast. May our works reflect a degree of your perfection and bring delight to everyone who benefits from them. Give audacity and courage to our combat elements. May your lead on the battlefield enjoy your guard as we prepare the way for others who are committed to freedom and justice throughout the world. Open our inner lives to know you better and receive your gift of deliverance through salvation. Grant us wisdom in our efforts to improve, maintain, protect, and restore your creation. Inspire us to also treat fairly all whom you entrust to our care. Help us to conform to your will and be faithful in our pursuits. Then may we mirror your divine order for leadership and engineering that builds a lasting legacy for every generation. In your name we pray, Almighty God, engineer of all eternity. And let us say, Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Kozlowski. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Today marks the 7th change of command of the Transatlantic Division since its most recent inception in 2009. However, the Transatlantic Division has a much longer and more robust history than just the last 13 years. In 1947, 75 years ago, the Mediterranean Division was established when President Truman called upon Army engineers to assist in the rebuilding of the Mediterranean and the Middle East following World War II. From 1952 to 1976, the Mediterranean Division managed military construction projects in Turkey, and then expanded into Libya, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Pakistan, and Morocco. The Mediterranean Division provided engagement, oversight, and engineering and construction services to over 70 stakeholders in an extremely volatile and strategic Riyadh, Jeddah, and Al Salam. In 1986, USAID first located an office here in Winchester, Virginia. Between 1986 and 2009, the division went through numerous iterations. It was in 1998 that the Europe District, previously a Transatlantic Program Center asset, was reassigned to the North Atlantic Division. This realignment further strengthened the TAD connection to the other MSCs and their enduring programs. TAD's continued connections to the other MSCs only bolsters its importance within the USAID family. TAD is a division comprised of the highest number of emergency essential personnel throughout any MSC in U6. TAD stands ready to assist the enterprise in the event of another catastrophic event in Puerto Rico, ready to assist any MSC in the event of a major military contingency, and always committed to its district's massively important missions throughout the Middle East, providing foreign military sales and military construction throughout the region. TAD and its districts provide the most intensive and historically strategic, operational, and fundamentally customer-focused program. Our commitment to Special Operations Command as their door to the core has enabled USAID to better serve a partner that has ties globally to our nation's security and the well-being of every U.S. citizen. As we move into the next portion of this program and watch this historic event take place, please just take a moment to reflect on the magnitude of responsibility that is placed upon the Transatlantic Division and its unerring ability to shoulder that responsibility in delivering this program. The colors that are posted symbolize the very soul of our nation, the United States Army and the Transatlantic Division. They record the glories of the past, stand as guardian over the present, and inspire soldiers and civilians the loyalty, duty, and courage to achieve victory in the future. In the past, the colors served as a rallying point for soldiers during battle. The change of command is a simple, traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. Key to the ceremony is the passing of the organizational colors. These colors represent not only the lineage and honors of the unit, but also the loyalty and unity of its members. The colors are the commander's symbol, authority, representing the responsibilities to the organization. Wherever the commander is, there are also the colors. Throughout history, commanders ensured their unit flags were carried by one of their most trusted officers. Today, Command Sgt. Major Clifton Morehouse, Command Sgt. Major of the Transatlantic Division, will fulfill this honorable role. Passing of the colors symbolizes the transfer of authority from the outgoing commander to the incoming commander. Out of reverence toward their colors, commanders hold the colors over their hearts as they are passed. The passing of the colors demonstrates to the soldiers and civilians of the organization that the commander has passed the mantle of leadership to the new commander, and with this also passes the loyalty of the workforce. By the authority of Army Regulation 600-20, paragraph 2-5, the undersigned assumes command of the Transatlantic Division, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, effective 26 July, 2022. Signed, William Hannan, Colonel, Engineer Commander. Command Sgt. Major Morehouse will now present the division colors to the departing commander, Major General Colloton, for the last time. Major General Colloton will then pass the colors to Lieutenant General Spellmon, thereby relinquishing the responsibility and authority. Lieutenant General Spellmon will in turn pass the colors to the new division commander, Colonel Hannan, charging him with the same responsibility and authority. Command Sgt. Major Morehouse will then accept the colors from Colonel Hannan, solidifying the bond between the Corps' leadership and its workforce. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant General Spellmon, the 55th Chief of Engineers, Commanding General of U.S. Army Corps.
recognize two amazing leaders, Major General Colloton, and of course Colonel Bill Hannan, and this great Transatlantic Division that they command. Before I begin, I just want to take a moment and thank the organizers of this event in this beautiful courtroom. There is always a small squad of people behind these cameras and microphones pulling it all together, so thank you all of you at home for putting this together for us this morning. So before I talk about Bill and Kim, I want to talk about their families, because I think both of them would agree that none of us accomplished anything in this life, in this Army, certainly in the Army Corps of Engineers alone. We rely on this steady professionals that we have in this great division, our many partners, our international partners, and of course our family. So I want to talk a little bit about their family members. I'm going to start with Kim. You know, everyone knows Kim. We work with her on a daily basis, but we don't often get the opportunity to interact with her family. But Kim's husband, Mike, they met at Stanford University, I understand, Kim, while you were in graduate school before you came to the Corps for the first time as a captain. I think you were on your way to LA District or SPD. Today, Mike is a professional civil engineer. He specializes in underground work and tunnels. Currently, is the Eastern Area Manager for the Underground Division of Trailer Brothers Incorporated. And Mike and Kim's son, Stanley, he's 10 years old, has moved 4 times in the past 9 years. Stanley's in 4th grade, and if you haven't met Stanley, he is very passionate about hockey. So passionate that Mike built a ice hockey rink in their backyard. How cool is that? Kim's father, Tom, we lost a while ago, a Vietnam veteran, passed away this past February as some previous health conditions that were exacerbated by COVID. But I know that he was overjoyed to participate in your promotion ceremony to Brigadier General, and just like your Major General promotion ceremony, I'll say it again, I know that your dad is looking down on us from above today. He is just beating with pride in all that you have accomplished and continue to accomplish. Kim's mother, Bernadette, is a retired Army nurse here today, as well as Kim's stepmother, Donna, and her in-laws, as well as her siblings and members. And if you don't know Kim's family, she comes from a large family. She is one of 6. She has 4 sisters, 1 brother, 3 of whom who have served in the Army. So amazing family of service. So thank you again for joining Kim and all of her family, and whether virtual or here in the room, and recognize this very important milestone in her career. And just like Kim's family, the Hannan family has been a constant source of support for Bill throughout his military career and 8 military moves. Bill married Colonel Sally Hannan 19 years ago. Sally is a West Point graduate and originally from East Tennessee. She's also an engineer, previous to Honolulu District Deputy Commander, also commanded the garrison at Carlisle Barracks. They met at the Engineer Captain's Career Course and were both stationed in Heidelberg, Germany. I am told Bill proposed to Sally at the Heidelberg Castle. Well done, Bill. They were married later at the Heidelberg Town Hall. And Bill and Sally have 3 children, and I'm going to go right to left over there. Caroline, 15, going into the 10th grade, an avid horseback rider, artist, reader, loves TV shows, particularly The Office, and Marvel Comics movies. Caroline is working on her driver's license and doing very well. Billy, 12, going into the 7th grade, plays basketball and soccer, huge sports fan, Buckeyes, Yankees, we're going to come back to the Yankees in a moment, and sports in general. And then Elliot Rose, age 10, going into the 5th grade, an avid soccer player, swimmer, loves doing anything outside, I understand, especially rollerblading. Awesome. So Bill's father, William Sr., is also with us today, a Vietnam veteran, retired state police officer from Ohio, a very service-oriented, and he was very service-oriented and influential to Bill's development. Another huge New York Yankees fan, and baseball fan. Did you know this? Bill's grandfather played in the Detroit Tiger minor league system and started Little League in his hometown. Bill's great uncle played for the New York Yankees, mostly minor league, but made it to some major league games. So for the Hannan family, I'm just going to do this right now. I grew up a Yankees fan in New York State. Both of my bosses are Boston Red Sox fans. The Yankees are doing very well, Sergeant Major. Where's Major Morris? Just tell me, what do you think many, many games ahead of the Boston Red Sox. Hey, joining us virtually are Sally's parents, Ness and Sandra Locks. They live in Jonesboro, Tennessee. Ness is originally from the great state of New Jersey, where I am from, and Sandy is also from East Tennessee. Ness is a retired County Emergency Management Director and Reserve Sheriff's Deputy. Sandy also is a retired Reserve Sheriff's Deputy and had several jobs over the years for the city in the field of real estate. Both are avid fly fish anglers, and Ness is a fly fishing guide in Eastern Tennessee and Western North Carolina. I just want to say thanks to all the family, whether you're joining us virtually or here in the room. Many thanks for being here. You just make this ceremony extra special. So can we give a warm round of applause for all? So as our narrator said, this is a time-honored tradition, any change of command ceremony, but it also gives us some time to recognize two amazing leaders that are in our midst within the Army. So I want to start with Kim. Kim, it's an absolute honor to say that we've been blessed to have your leadership in the Army Corps of Engineers for the past several years. And we know that under your leadership, this division provided military construction, foreign military sales, and post-nation funded construction and design, as well as operations to make the support within several Middle East countries. I was saying upstairs, for those that didn't make the award ceremony, many of our districts and regions talk about large footprints. Maybe they operate across 17 states or 12 states or 13 states. This division operates across numerous continents, just a huge, vast mission. And as the commanding general, she oversaw the division regional headquarters, of course, 206 commanded districts, and a multitude of resident engineering offices throughout the Middle East, delivering a $4 billion construction program across 175 projects, and of course that grows each and every day. A very complex and significant mission for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. During these past 2 years with Kim in command, across this large and complex region, she was responsible for providing support to the U.S. Central Command and U.S. Special Operations Command globally. Under Kim's leadership, this region has made significant progress on several fronts, and she has much to be proud of along with this great team. And I'm just going to give you a few highlights. So Transatlantic Division advanced many strategic engagements with our foreign partners to realize a construction and engineer-related services program that delivered mega projects such as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Ministry of Defense City, infrastructure for their multi-mission surface combatant platform, and infrastructure for the thermal high-altitude air defense system. TAD also delivered extensive infrastructure across the Middle East. Again, a few highlights for the F-15 platform purchased by the Qataris and to support U.S. basing requirements there. The F-15 Super Hornet platform purchased by the Kuwaiti Ministry of Defense. U.S. basing requirements of Bahrain. Construction in support of Operation Spartan Shield and Inherent Resolve, that's in Kuwait and Iraq. And a multitude of other projects and efforts in this countries: Egypt, Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, Lebanon, Israel, and within the multitude of stands. Kim skillfully focused on key leader engagements for strength and nested hard USACE actions within the strategic and operational objectives defined in the respective combatant commanders' campaign plans. Synergized our overall engineering efforts, expanded our strategic partnerships, and expertly served as an advisor to both of those four-star commanders. She successfully led all our efforts to exceed expectations of our partners, with TAD becoming the partner of choice. Kim, it's an understatement that you've been outstanding here at Transatlantic Division. You have demonstrated your leadership by driving this division to new heights, to overcome some of the toughest challenges we face in the Corps today. And you have taken care of your people all along the way, and that has not gone unnoticed. You have developed a culture, as you say it, we're in it to win it, and by empowering the division team to engage, execute, and evolve with acute focus to safely deliver quality projects on time and within budget. And I can't thank you enough for your exceptional leadership over the past 2 years. We've been blessed to have you on this team, and I personally want to thank you for all that you've done. Thanks to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, our incoming commander is no less talented. Colonel Bill Hannan is no stranger to this mission. His most recent assignment was the Chief Office of Security Cooperation in Iraq, or OSCI, as we call it for short. His outstanding ability to strengthen teams and strategic partnerships proved instrumental in OSCI's overwhelming success under combat conditions in a highly volatile and dynamic political and military environment. Bill excelled in this position, which was previously held by an Army Major General. His superb leadership was crucial during a time of exceptional turbulence, including 4 attacks on the Baghdad embassy compound. In addition to operating in those very difficult conditions, Bill led OSCI during a contested Iraqi election and government formation, operating during the COVID-19 pandemic, resource constraints including a Department of State order departure, the transition of U.S. and coalition military to an advised, assist, and enable role, increased Iraqi protests and civil unrest, escalating tensions with Iran, and continued support to combat operations by coalition forces in Iraq and Syria. That is no short list of challenges. But Bill, I would just say through every one of those during your tumultuous year in OSCI, you successfully supported the United States ambassador to Iraq and the commander of the U.S. Central Command. And again, that is not gone unnoticed. I'll tell you that he expertly led an 80-person Department of Defense joint organization that included service members from the Army, the Air Force, Navy, Marines, and Space Force. He flawlessly integrated OSCI into a joint interagency, intergovernmental, multinational-led effort that included the United States Embassy, Combined Joint Task Force Operation Inherent Resolve, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Iraq, and multiple other unified action partners. Bill also displayed his exceptional care for people all along the way. He established a leader development program, a service day program. He created and maintained an exceptional command climate, maintained a quarterly family Zoom call while deployed, and executed a delivered awards program, contributed to the family environment in that very tough environment. Bill, thank you for your exceptional service to the Army. We couldn't be prouder or happier for you today. As I told you upstairs, the Army has bigger plans for you. We're not going to talk about those today. Those will come out in a few months, but know that you have the highest trust of the Army senior leadership to take on this very tough mission. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just end by saying, commanding a USACE region, it is a tough but important job, and being selected to command at the general officer level, it doesn't happen by accident. Army senior leaders make these decisions after a lot of very, very careful discussions and reflection. And Kim and Bill, you have proven to Army senior leaders time after time that you are the right leaders for this toughest job, and I'm excited to see what you will accomplish in service in both of your new assignments. So thanks again, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out to join us today in this beautiful downtown Winchester courthouse. It's great to be here with you. SAONs, Army Strong, Globally Strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing Command General, Major General Kimberly M.
Thank you, sir. So, up front, just a couple of reinforcing thank yous. Kirsten and Brian, part of our Tiger team that planned this. Dan, excellent rendition of the national anthem. Very much appreciated. Chaplain, our IT crew up in the back left. Margaret and Ray, thank you, and Sergeant Major Morehouse, Sergeant Major Husband, thank you for organizing and keeping us on time, rehearsing and being prepared for today. Kat, for public affairs, to helping us reach out to the folks that couldn't be here in person, and for making it special for everybody here in the room by capturing these moments the way you do. The Ramirez's, thank you very much for your help with the reception last night. So, family, Mike and Stanley, who I know are probably watching, they're up in Minnesota, so I think they jumped in the lake this morning and probably are watching from porchside, joining us today. Friends, teammates, partners that are watching, and those that were able to make the trip, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your support, past, present, and future. We're going to need more of it. Where I'm going. So, reserve some for the weeks and months ahead. As General Spellmon said, I'm a believer that no one does anything by themselves. It's a team. And thank you to General Semenite for putting me in this position in the Transatlantic Division, and General Spellmon, thank you for allowing me to stay here and trusting me to lead the Transatlantic Division for the past 2 years, and for taking the time to understand what the Transatlantic Division does as a value-added organization as part of our enterprise. So quickly, I want to why we're here. People, projects, and our partners. This is what makes up the Transatlantic Division. The people that you heard about, and the people that General Spellmon mentioned. An alphabet soup of organizations that we have had under the Transatlantic Division: TFE, TAA, TAM, TAE, AED South, AED North. You've all heard of GRD, South, North, and Central, all part of the Transatlantic Division's subordinate organizations and part of the history that Kirsten laid out of who we are and what we have done. I'm are forward in the field that aren't here, and those that are back in our Winchester headquarters down the road. Some of you only spend a year with us, some of you spend decades with us. Some of you are on YS Tasker, you're part of the big Army, maybe an active reserve or a National Guard member that joins our team for a short stint. And I will say, you leave better and we are better because of that. We have foreign service nationals that make up part of the core of our team forward. With all the countries that we work in, they are part of our delivery package to get the work done. As well as our contracted support team members from Parsons and Berkshire, they also are part of how we fill in the gaps and how we deliver those big projects and programs that General Spellmon talked about. Mr. Adams, thank you. Thank you for being an SES of one. 5 MSC functions that got to get executed, and he does all of them, and does them all well. It's been great to have you as my partner for the past 2 years. You're the right person at the right time with the right skills for us. DCO, Colonel Bales, and then Colonel Baumgartner, one after the other, back to back, came in with experience. C-Sticka for Craig with some Army G3 experience, came in here already running fast and allowed us to just keep up with him. And thanks, Craig, for your vision and for the help that you have given me in guiding our organization forward. All of our EXOs, and I'll call them off: Bobby, Willow, Ann, Susan, and Sarah. We've had a lot. Thank all of you for stepping in and stepping up. Our front office takes a lot. It's a hard road, but all of you individually have helped make us better. Our executive assistants, Cindy, D'Angelo, Tom, and Bonnie. That's the hardest working team I have ever seen. They are all in. They are definitely in it to win it, sir. And my A's, Jay and JT. I always gave you more than you could handle, and each of you did it with a smile all the time. Sergeant Major Romani, I know he's dialing in, joining us from Germany with his family, but he was definitely our rock, our non-commissioned officer, a solid part of our foundation, steady in the saddle, but always willing to roll his sleeves up. And he definitely was absolutely key and essential to the success that we have seen. Sergeant Major Morehouse, I know you're going to thoroughly enjoy serving in this division for as long as the future allows you to, but I know you're going to get out a lot out of it, and we're going to get out a lot of the time. We're going to get a lot out of what you bring to the table. It is all about people. So a few more quick ones I want to talk about. My commander, sergeant majors, and senior civilians. The Middle East District, Colonel Flip Sechrist and his partner in crime, Tom Waters. They are the continuity, the regional experts, and part of what keeps us going in our program. They have the winning recipe and what it takes to build big and build to last. We've had Colonel John Haas from the Reserves and Sergeant Major Clares and Tom Levine, who joined us for Task Force Essayons. They were executing at the speed of relevance for Iraq and Syria. Then we had Colonel Mark Giraldi, Sergeant Major Marshall, Brenton Johnson, and Margaret Jones, the last command team of the Afghanistan District. Almost 2 decades of building in Afghanistan, and as hard as it was to depart and close that down over the past 2 years, last year to be exactly, they did it all while continuing to execute up until the last minute and making sure that people were taken care of as we reset and relocated down to Kuwait. And then the Expeditionary District, Colonel Ken Reed, Lieutenant Colonel Peter Hammerman, and now Lieutenant Colonel Rick Childers in the seat with Rob Newman and Sergeant Major Taylor. Before then, Margaret Jones, Sergeant Major Logan. What a team. They're aimed forward, they're aimed for the future, and they're helping us as a regional enterprise execute the huge workload that we have in front of us. I know every single one of you were stretched, and I asked you to be uncomfortable, and I probably made you uncomfortable on many occasions when you all stepped up and did what we needed to do in this very dynamic operating environment. The projects, General Spellmon listed them off, and so I'm not going to name any, but we did everything from non-standard, non-permanent theater, construction type facilities, So we're now starting to stretch ourselves out of our comfort zone, but in an area where we have to make sure that we touch. I'm going to go on to partners. So quickly, we don't do anything alone. As we said, we do it together. Our allies are a very important part of this partnership. The UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Kuwait, Iraq, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Bahrain, and Egypt, just to name some, and I know there will be more going forward. Absolutely key. What they need, their requirements, absolutely an essential part of working in an international environment is to make sure we understand. And there's challenges with translations, challenges that I know our team, always overcomes. They're very good at doing that. Our U.S. mission partners, again, it's an alphabet soup of SOCCENT, JSOC, SOCOM, USAID, Department of State, USASAC, AFSAC, NAF, FAC, NAVCENT, AFCENT, ARCENT, CENTCOM, all the SDOs and DATs, CJTFOIR, and on. I mean, there are so many U.S. mission partners operating in our footprint, but very, very important, all with very unique and very key missions. I would say it's everything we do, as I mentioned, is the bigger part of a project delivery team or an operational planning team, and we do that very well, and I appreciate that. And one thing I would say that I'm going to steal shamelessly, I picked up recently, is countries like China, Russia, they deal with clients and customers. We deal with partners, and I think that's what makes us so strong. We don't think of it as a transaction. You buy this, I'll give you that. We're there in it with them, all part of the same team to deliver something that they need to deliver a capability that is important. So, sir, with that, SAON's building strong. We are in it to win it. Thank you.
Colloton, ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the Transatlantic Division, Colonel M.
Good morning, everyone. What a great historic place to hold this ceremony today. First, I just want to thank all the distinguished guests and visitors that were mentioned earlier. Your presence really makes this ceremony special. General Spellmon, thank you for the trust and confidence to serve as the Transatlantic Division Commander. I look forward to this opportunity. I will do my best serving the people of CAD and our partners, especially across the Middle East. Sharice, thank you so much. It's all right. Well, thank you so much for everything you do, and Sally and I really look forward to serving with you at this level as well. I want to also especially thank everyone who had a part in today's ceremony, and really just the transition of me into the division. So if we could, Sally and I know these things are not easy to put together. If we could just give them another round of applause. Folks and recognize them today that are here or maybe virtual that just enabled me to get to this point in my career. First, my dad. This one always gets me. My dad over there. Bill Sr., Vietnam veteran, retired state police officer, really taught me about service and leadership. My brother and sister, they're also watching virtually. Just thanks for being there today. Attending virtually from Northeast Tennessee, as General Spellman mentioned, Sally's parents, Ness and Sandra, they've just done so much for our family over the years and also have that strong tradition of service. Thanks for everything. Our kiddos, Caroline, Billy, and Elliot Rose, thanks for all you have done supporting Mom and I. We know how resilient and strong you are. All those moves, most of them with them as well. So they've always stayed tough. Sally, not always as she always supported me in taking care of the family. She continues to serve. Of note, as General Spellman said, she's been a deputy district engineer and a project manager. She's already given me counseling on effective division command, so I've got those notes down. I've got high expectations there, so I'm going to try to meet those as well, sir, in addition to yours. I'd like to thank a few other leaders that are here today that just had a big impact on Sally. First, Sergeant Major Houston and Kim. Around the podium there. Thanks for all you've done for Sally and I over the years. Thanks for your many years of service to the regiment and the nation. We've learned so much from both of you during our time before Wood. And I know Sally always appreciates the phone a friend and maybe some good advice. So. General Kim and Martha's not here today, but thank you for being a great example for our family in Carlisle Barracks, both professionally and personally. Your very easy approachable style was great to give advice to Sally or I, and even when we needed to rally someone to buy lemonade for a free over here, you were always willing to jump in and support the family business there on Marshall Ridge. General Stevens and Terry not here, thanks for your leadership while we were in Honolulu District at POD. It was great to get promoted and do the best deployment served outside your house here at the gazebo in Palm Circle. So definitely great memories from that time as well. A special thanks to, and it just happened to work out with travel, Mr. Brian Smith and Mr. Eric Shoemate, the DPM and the Chief of Engineering for Kansas City District. Whether it was up and down the Missouri River, a lot of time in the car there with those two folks, and then from Kansas City or one of our mega projects. Thanks for all that you and the Kansas City District taught me. I learned a tremendous amount here. There are so many others watching virtually, and so many others to thank. But what I just want to really say is it's worth noting the reason I am here today is due to the many outstanding civilian military leaders over my 25-year career. So I could not be here without the support, development, mentorship, all along the way. And so there's a lot of folks. And I'll thank you all if you're watching personally here over the next couple of weeks. Finally, ma'am, I want to thank you, Major General Colloton. Thanks for all you've done to make this transition seamless. From linking up in the theater to many Teams calls, you set me up for success. I look forward to continuing all the hard work that you put into TAD and also to continue to work together in your new role up at headquarters. Best of luck in that position. As I finish up talking today, I want to end just a few words for the great people in Transatlantic Division and all of our amazing partners. Having just redeployed from Iraq and leading the Security Cooperation Program, I did have an opportunity to see the work this division does firsthand. And it's amazing. Whether it's support to the warfighter or to support one of our partners across the Central Command area of responsibility, without a doubt, amazing people in Transatlantic Division directly enable success in either our U.S. foreign policy or Central Command objectives. For our amazing employees serving in the districts in that division, I'm humbled at the opportunity to serve as your Transatlantic Division commander. You have an amazing reputation, a strong history of service to the nation. You'll get my best. I'll work hard to enable success in all you do. Thanks again for this opportunity, and thanks to everyone for attending today. SA on is building strong, Army strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the benediction and remain standing for the playing and singing of the Engineer and Army songs and the departure of the official party. The words to the songs are located in your programs.
I invite you once again to pray in your faith. Heavenly God, as we conclude today's beautiful ceremony, we thank you for the two great leaders who stand before us. Major General Colloton truly embodies the words of the proverb, Eshet Hayil, a woman of valor. Her selflessness, compassion, integrity, care for others, imagination, drive, and leadership have been unparalleled. Colonel Hannan has exemplified the war cry, Achare li, after me, follow me. He is a soldier and a proven servant leader. As both Major General Colloton and Colonel Hannan today assume greater levels of responsibility, we ask that you give them renewed strength, resiliency, and energy for the challenging missions that they will surely face. May you bless and think of them daily. May you support their wonderful families. Source of all creation and master of all imagination, innovation, and inspiration. Bless Major General Colloton, Colonel Hannan, their families, our beloved TAD and USACE families, our Army, and our nation. We ask these blessings so that we may create peace and continue to build beautiful and holy works, B'Tselem Elohim, made in your holy and divine image. To that, let's all say, Seance, go Army, and Amen.
Amen.